He had no family, no friends, no one even knew his real name, until a young nurse gave him the ultimate gift, her kidney. But what if I told you? She had no idea he was a multimillionaire CEO hiding in plain sight, and what happened after the surgery changed both their lives forever. Before we dive into this unbelievable true story, if you believe in the power of kindness, second chances, and love in the most unexpected places, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Hopeful Stories for more real, heart-touching stories every week. Let's begin. She had seen hundreds of patients pass through her ward, but there was something different about the man in room 307. Nurse Emily Carter was just 27, working long night shifts at St. Francis Hospital, known for her calm presence and radiant empathy. She had always believed nursing was more than just medication and charts. It was about listening, about holding hands through pain, about being the bridge between fear and hope. The man in 307 was quiet. Too quiet. He didn't speak unless absolutely necessary. His eyes were sunken, not from illness, but from something deeper. Loneliness, loss. His chart said Michael Rains. Late 40s, kidney failure. No listed family, no visitors. No social media, nothing. Every day, Emily noticed the same pattern. He would eat in silence, decline phone use, decline therapy. When she brought in the therapy dog for other patients, he turned his face to the wall. Something about his sadness clung to her. One day, when Emily was drawing his blood, she gently said, "You know, people don't heal just from medicine. You gotta let someone in." He didn't respond. But the next day, he asked her name. That was the start. Over the next few weeks, Emily slowly peeled back his silence. He never said much, but he listened. He noticed when she cut her finger on a needle. He gave her a single chocolate bar on her birthday, though he never asked for one thing himself. Then came the day the doctor gave him the news. His kidneys were failing fast. Dialysis was barely working. He needed a transplant, urgently, but there was no donor match. No family, and time was running out. Emily went home that night and cried. She didn't understand why this stranger had pierced her heart so deeply. Maybe because he reminded her of her own father, who died alone when she was just 16. Or maybe because his silence held a scream no one else could hear. 2 weeks later, she did something reckless. She got tested, and she was a match. Her friends thought she was insane. Giving a kidney to a man who barely spoke? Who had no one? But Emily didn't hesitate. If this were my father, I'd pray someone like me would exist. She never told Michael until the day before surgery. She walked into room 307, holding the consent papers, her heart pounding. His hands shook as he read them. You're the donor?" he whispered. She nodded. "You matter, even if you think you don't." He turned away, silent again, but a single tear slipped down his cheek. The surgery was successful. Both recovered in separate wings. But that was just the beginning of what would be the most shocking revelation of Emily's life. 3 weeks after the surgery, Emily was discharged. She returned home with a healing scar and a quiet sense of peace. She never expected to see Michael again, but the following Monday, a black car pulled up outside her tiny apartment. A suited man stepped out, holding a white envelope. "This is from Mr. Rains," he said, bowing slightly. Inside was an invitation. No, a summons to a private dinner at the city's most luxurious rooftop restaurant. Emily almost didn't go. But curiosity and a strange tug at her heart won. When she arrived, the maitre d' led her to the top floor where Michael was waiting. But not in hospital clothes. In a tailored Armani suit, with posture straight and eyes clear, stood Michael Rains, the reclusive CEO of Rains Tech Industries, one of the country's most powerful tech empires. "Worth over $200 million, Emily gasped. He smiled gently. "I didn't lie. I just didn't want to be treated like a man with money. I wanted to remember what it meant to be human." He told her everything. How he lost his wife to cancer. How grief made him walk away from his company. How he'd been living anonymously, refusing treatment, refusing help, until she forced him to feel again. "I owe you my life," he said softly. But more than that, you reminded me I'm still alive. He offered her money. She declined. He offered her a job at his foundation. She hesitated. Then he asked her something else. Would you have dinner with me again next week? Not as your patient, just as Michael. Months passed. Weeks turned into walks. Walks turned into dinners. Dinners into Sunday mornings. And somewhere between healing and hope, they found something neither expected. Love. Today, Nurse Emily Carter is no longer just a nurse. She runs a global health initiative funded by the Rains Foundation, providing kidney transplants to the underserved. And yes, they got married, not because of wealth, not because of drama, but because a quiet man in pain met a fearless woman who believed in his worth. A story of silent souls, brave hearts, and how the smallest kindness can change the course of two lives. If this story touched your heart, even just a little, please help us share it. Like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to Hopeful Stories for more real-life miracles and moments that remind us hope is never lost. We'll see you in the next story.